What I learned this week. This week I learned that run-through showers, you know the ones, those showers that you just screw onto the wall, provide a cold water supply, some electricity, run at around about 7,500 kilowatts. So that's about 31 point something amps. In fact, they go straight into a 32 amp breaker normally. So about that far away from your finger and about that far away from your feet submerged in water is 32 amps of 240 volts electricity. That's quite dangerous. I'm kind of surprised that they still use these things. I also learned this week that to accurately calculate the tip speed of a propeller, you need to include the airspeed of the vehicle. Now actually I will be using this probably once in my life, but good to know. I was quite surprised this week to discover that there are still people that will spend £7,500 on a camera body and probably another couple on a lens and then stick it on a £20 Chineseium tripod. It's just crazy. One thing that I didn't want to learn this week, which I did, is that in Windows 10 Anniversary Edition, for some reason, along with a whole bunch of other changes to the start menu, you can no longer use the keyboard shortcut Windows key up enter to shut the PC down. Now this is something that I've been doing since I guess around maybe Vista. I've been using this shortcut, so that's like 10 years give or take, and I'm sure that my muscle memory will still be making me do it in 25 years time. Why change it? Why? Just why? Another thing that I discovered this week is that the Eliquid that I've been kind of thinking about making for a long time, which is Rhodonite, it's called. It's a raspberry apple macaroon flavour Eliquid, which I've kind of been holding out high hopes for. It's not very nice. I also learnt this week that there are about 15 different types of glow plug for glow fuel engines. But yeah, a pleasant discovery this week was the fact that Commodore SX 64s actually fetch quite a lot of money these days. A good working example seems to go for maybe £700,000. I happen to have a Commodore SX 64. It's been sitting in the garage for the last 10 years and probably in storage for the previous 15 years before that, and then sitting in a room for the previous 10 years before that. God only knows if it works, but if it does, I'm selling it. This week I finally fixed an annoying little problem that I've had for quite a long time in Google Chrome and probably in any other browser. If you visit a site via HTTPS SSL and they don't have a blah 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 security certificate, then you get a warning. Now you can ignore this warning by clicking on a very tiny link and saying, yeah, please ignore this. And it just so happens that my server, the link that I use to connect to my server, is such a case. So every time that I try and configure or do anything on my server, I have to go through this thing where it shows up a big warning and says, do you want to continue? Or it doesn't. Finally, after many attempts at trying to resolve this issue so that I could just connect to my own bloody server, I discovered how to actually correctly install a self-signed certificate. Something which has eluded me for quite a while. And now it's working. Lastly, this week, I discovered why they use green screens and not red screens for chroma keys. If you have any doubts about this, check a couple of videos back where I did in fact use a red screen. Red sheet, actually. If you think about it, it's pretty obvious why. But it was worth a try. And so hopefully next week, I hope to learn some more things. And I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will.